This is the tips and tricks video for World 1 of the Mines of Spelunky. First of all, I like to carry around an item in my hands fairly often in the mines just because there's so many arrow traps. So this means you can use a skull, you can pick up that mouse that was right there, you could pick up a pot, another arrow, whatever you want to do. It is your choice. I'm just holding a skull right now, even though I don't really need one. But I like to keep one handy. Just for setting off those arrow traps. Oh, you can also use a rock. And I would advise using ropes to get crates if you can't reach them. I wouldn't leave them just sitting there. I wouldn't use more than one bomb to go get a crate. I don't think that's worth it, but one bomb for a crate, worth it. Damsels, I wouldn't waste bombs getting them, but a rope is not worth as much at this point in the game. And if you're only trying to do World 1 and just finish that, then you definitely want to use a rope to get whatever you can. Just make sure you always save at least one, so don't waste a rope for a box or the damsel if you only have one rope left. Another thing to remember is that the damsel can be used to set off traps too, and you can actually run into traps with the damsel in your hand and you won't get hit at all. It'll just hit the damsel and you'll be fine. You can't do that with a rock or a pot in your hands. So the damsel is kind of like a shield, but it won't shield you against enemies. But you can throw the damsel at enemies without the damsel taking any damage. Like right there. But if you whip your damsel, it loses health, and the damsel only has 3 health, so keep that in mind. The only real reason you should be speeding through these mines is if you're doing the Spelunky achievement. Now, for purposes of this guide, I am assuming you're not. One thing you should do is buy a compass anytime you see it. I could have bought the jetpack there, but that would kind of break the purpose of this video because the jetpack's so overpowered. But if you do see a jetpack, definitely buy it because it's probably the best item you can get. So I'm going to go ahead and just buy the spike shoes and the compass. Those two aren't really overpowered. The compass just helps you find the exit, and the spike boots gives you more damage when you jump on top of things. Now for the mines, the only thing that would help with is the giant spider, because everything else dies in one hit anyways. You may notice that I'm always either jumping on piles of bones or whipping them. That's a good thing to get in the habit for, because those skeletons just get up at the most inopportune times. So make sure you're whipping and jumping on them. And also, never stand on top of the pots whenever you're breaking them, because you might get a cobra like in that pot right there, or a snake, or scorpion. So just make sure that you're either throwing the pots or you're standing a nice space away. This is the best way to kill the giant spiders. If you just throw a bomb in their web, they won't move. They'll just sit there and you can kill them like that. If you accidentally set one off, well, you'll be happy that you have spike boots because it only takes either 4 or 5 jumps to kill them, but they're bad news if you anger them. I would advise just running away if you have made them angry. And also, you can walk on these spikes. You'll see me run around on them, but you can't jump on them. You can jump up to them if you're a square below, but you just can't jump on them. So So obviously you'll die just like anything else that lands on them. So here's another shopkeeper, and if you're taking your time, you're gonna have plenty of gold, so you can easily buy something. And an important note is that the shopkeeper sells things cheaper in the earlier world. So the further you go, the more expensive things get. So if you spend your money early and you're saving for like the honk or something later on, you know, this is the time to buy things. Right here I wasn't sure if the cobra was going to spit onto the box, but it looks like it wasn't going to happen, so I went ahead and moved it. You can move these powder boxes, you just can't let them take any damage, otherwise they blow up. Right here I accidentally fell down, so I'm gonna have to waste a rope and a bomb to get back up. It's okay if you're taking your time because you probably got extra bombs and ropes. See, if you sacrifice your damsel here, when it's alive, you'll get a random item for free. And the second sacrifice, you'll get the Kapala achievement and get the Kapala item, which you can refill your own health with by collecting blood. You gotta watch out for the spiders falling from the ceiling. Those things get me more than anything in the mines, just because sometimes you're just not paying attention. Other times they're so high up in the air that you don't notice them. Now, if you don't want to set off the arrow trap with a rope, you can also blow it up with a bomb like I did right there. But if you hold down and press Y on the edge, you'll drop a rope in front of arrow traps and you can set them off. Alright, now I got a freeze ray I picked up. I'm just going to play around with it a little bit. You might find one. I'm not going to use it too much. Just going to go around and collect some gold, shoot a couple things for funsies. Now this is really cool if you get this to kill giant spiders, because they stand no chance. Now normally, if you're in this situation where you see all these giant spiders, you probably just bomb your way through it if you couldn't run around it. Right here, I could probably just run away and only one giant spider on the left would fall. But I have a freeze ray, so I'm going to have a little fun. Oh, and also that locked chest can get you the, I think it's called the U-Jet Eye or something, and it lets you know where the black market is, and it also acts as like spectacles, so you see all the jewels buried in the dirt. If you freeze them, oh, almost dropped it. If you freeze them and then just jump on them, then they die in one hit, and if they're that high, they just fall and die, no problem. Once you complete World 1, for the first time, you'll meet the Tunnel Man, and the Tunnel Man will ask you for one bomb. So if this is your first time doing it, make sure you have one bomb, and the second time you complete World 1, you have to have one rope. And the third time, you have to give him 10,000 gold. Now in this situation, I would be okay for any of them. That's pretty much it for this video. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below and I'll try to help you out with whatever I can. Other than that, just like and subscribe, and I'm out.